Hello, I am Choco, and today I wanted to give my own take on the Strawhats design after Timeskip. Just a quick reminder that it's all in good fun, and also some basically don't change, but I hope you like those that do change. So yep, let's get into it. So starting off, of course, with Monkey D. Luffy himself, and right off the bat nothing really changes, except for how I usually draw him, which is giving him curly hair just like Iñaki in the live action. But yeah, overall, Luffy obviously has a good design. It's simple but effective, and I think it would be hard to really change him. It's just a good amount of change between the pre-Timeskip design and his post-Timeskip one. Like, the only real change is his shirt, which is now open, to kind of signify the freedom he always searches for. And I think he looks a bit more mature. And of course there's the big scar on his chest, which is a constant reminder of Ace and what happened in Marineford. So yeah, I just really didn't want to change Luffy at all. He's perfect the way he is. But I did add the bracelets, which you will see everyone has one now. It's a little idea I had that Usopp made one for everyone, a friendship bracelet for all of the crew, which represent of course their bond and also the loyalty they have toward Luffy and the crew as a whole. And for everyone, the colors represent their loved one. So for Luffy, it's of course Ace, Sabo, and himself, it's their colors. And I also thought of that the red could represent Shanks for him. But yeah, for the bracelet, I kind of thought that Usopp asked which colors they wanted, and either the crew had the specific people in mind, or they kind of just thought of the colors themselves, and it just connected to the people. Next is Zoro, of course. So for Zoro, once again, almost nothing changed. I think he has a really solid design that fits him. I just thought that the sleeves he has kind of restrict his movement. So I decided to shorten the sleeves. At first I wanted to cut them off completely, but I just changed them so they're the same length he had pre-Timeskip. I thought of maybe giving him a pattern, but I didn't want to clash with Jinbei, plus Zoro isn't one for fashion, so I just think he doesn't care what he wears. So his design is just already good. The new addition of the scar makes him look more intimidating, so overall, a good design. And for his bracelet, of course, it represents Kuina, his sensei, and of course himself. I kinda wanted to tell what everyone thought of the bracelet, so Luffy obviously loves it. It's a cool bracelet made by Usopp, so he just wears it all the time and he adores it. For Zoro, I think he kinda looks like he doesn't care at all, but he likes it a lot and also never takes it off. It means a lot to him now. I should also add that the picture in the bottom left you see for everyone is my own ref for their pre-Timeskip designs, so you have a basis for how I usually all draw them. I also put a reference from the anime in the top right, just as a reminder for what I changed. And also, I wanted to add that I don't know why, but I struggle so much with drawing Zoro. I had to redo this drawing 3 different times. I kept changing the poses because it just doesn't fit him. I don't know what I have with him, but I struggle so much even though he isn't that complicated. I'm sorry, Zoro. One of these days I'm gonna learn to draw you for good. Now for Nami, finally something that actually changes. I think her OG design is fine, you know, she likes cute clothes and stuff, but it's kind of basic for her, I think, just a bikini top and jeans. It doesn't do a lot for her, I feel like. I think she wants more like fashion forward clothing, which I didn't give her like a fashionista look, but I think it's cuter. So first off, I didn't change her hair, but I did give her the green bandana she has in, I think, Stampede. Just adorable and suits her so much. Change her top so it gives a little bit more support, and I think it's more fashionable. I think it's really cute and she would like it. I also gave her jean shorts instead of just jeans. I think it's cuter, and I combined it with her socks she had in her concept art. Once again, I think it's super cute and I love the color, and just fits with the color palette she already has. And I also kept the pre-Timeskip boots she has at the very beginning of the East Blue arc, I believe. And for this one, I just kept the old climatic because I wasn't at Whole Cake Island when I drew this. But I think she would keep the new climatic that Usopp made her, and it's really cute. I really like the new one anyway. And for the bracelet, the colors represent Belmer, Nojiko, and of course herself, but also the mandarins. When Usopp gave it to her, I think she was kind of like, you know, it's not her usual kind of jewelry. It's maybe a bit more tacky than the things she likes. But she loves it because Usopp made it, so it also means a lot to her. Next is Usopp. I was really excited for this one. I felt like his original design was kind of random. First off, I don't like the hat, so I just removed it. I think it makes for a better silhouette without the hat. I just put his goggles right on his forehead, so he still has, you know, something up there. And now that I think about it, I think I would just kept the old goggles he has. I think it's kind of weird that he changed his goggles, kind of represent a lot for him. I just think I would change it if I do his design again. I also put his suspenders down and I gave him a short jacket, which also kind of matches with Franky, which you will see later. I kind of changed his pants also, I always thought they were kind of weird. I changed the fur as on top to just a belt. I gave him buttons on the side of his pants instead of on the front, but I kept the colors. I also changed his boots. I do like his usual boots, they're like cartoon shoes, I think it's cute. But I changed them for like Viking type boots for his like relation to the giants. And I also added fur on the jacket to keep the fur theming of his outfit. For his bracelet, I kind of thought that it's kind of sad, but in his backstory, I feel like he has the least amount of characters close to him, which is really sad. I mean, you know, he has his mom, but you don't see her a lot, and I don't really associate color with her. He has his dad, which we don't need to talk about. He does have the Usopp pirates, but I wasn't sure if I want to put them on the bracelet or not. I do think he still really cares about them. But same for Kaya, I don't know. Compared to the other one, it felt kind of weird to include their colors on his bracelet, so instead, the colors he has are of Soji King, which is kind of like a reminder for him to, you know, for self-love and self-acceptance, which is a big thing for him. And also I think it's a bit cuter, because his colors make a sunset. And also for Usopp, I wanted to add that I think the Soji King mask is still really important for him. So in my design, he still has it at all time in his bag. And also, quick spoiler warning for Dressrosa just in case. But I thought it was kind of weird when he was supposed to save Luffy and Lo from Sugar. And he was really stressed out and had to like stabilize himself. I thought he was gonna pull out the Soji King mask and put it on just like in Thriller Bark. But just didn't happen. I thought it was kind of sad. I feel like his identity as Soji King is really important for him and his development. So yeah, for my design, it's still an important aspect of it. Now for Sanji. Sanji doesn't change at all. I thought the design is just good as it is. Like, I can't change his hair, obviously. I didn't want to change him out of his suit. I know some people do for his design, and I think it looks really good, but I don't know for his, like, base design. I just think the usual suit is what fits him better. I just switched the shirt color he has for Fisherman Island. I think the brown and yellow is kind of weird for him, so I just gave him his blue back. And also fitted his suit a bit more. It still feels like it's a bit large on him sometimes. So it just perfectly fitted to him, probably courtesy of the queens. I just also gave him some heels to kick harder, like we see Dillinger does in Dressrosa. It just makes sense for him, I think. But yeah, for his bracelet, it's just blue and yellow for himself, Seth, his mother, and also for the old blue. And what he thinks of it, I think it's kind of like, you know, it ruins his aesthetic at first, but he wears it proudly as part of the Strawhat crew. But yeah, overall, for Sanji, I felt like his suit was too iconic to really change it. I think looking back on it now would maybe give him more fun patterns on his tie and his shirt. I think that could be cute. But yeah, in general, I wouldn't change his suit too much. If anything, post-Timeskip, I would rather give him a slight personality change, you know, after his time with Ivankov and stuff. I think like most people, his story in the Timeskip was maybe not the best handled, but whatever. Obviously, I still love Sanji, so it's fine. But one thing I wanted to mention is that for his hair, his part in his hair makes a little heart, and I kind of stole that from another One Piece fan artist, but I do not know what their username is. I found them on Twitter. They have beautiful stylized version of the characters, and I love the way they do Sanji. Now for Chopper. So like a lot of fans, I think it just became too cute and too much of a mascot post-Timeskip. So for his design, I changed him quite a bit, especially his proportion. I gave him a mix of his OG design and the new horn point he has post-Timeskip. So he looks a bit older, but he still is the shortest of the crew. You know, his horns are wider. He has the arms he has in that form, and he has kind of more, you know, deer animal-like legs. I changed his hat to have a blockier shape, to keep the shape that his hat usually has instead of completely round. I gave him the exact shirt he has, but I changed his shorts so he matches with Luffy. And I also gave him a little side bag so he can have his medicine in it and for it to have easier access to. And he also has more fur all over his body, especially on his neck. And for his bracelet, which I put on one of his horns. The colors represent Iluluk, Korea, and himself, and of course the sakura flowers. And he absolutely loves the bracelets. He probably cried when he received it, and he thinks it's like the best thing ever. He just loves it. Overall, I'm not the most satisfied with Chopper. I think maybe his proportion a little bit off. If I were to redo him, I would probably tweak him a bit. I think his pose didn't help. His pose is a bit stiff, so it doesn't really help with his design. I feel like Chopper is the hardest to redesign because he's the easiest to draw in his regular form because of how simple his body is, and he has like Mickey Mouse limbs, like they're very simple and cute. So it's hard to redesign him, but yeah, I wish there was just more to him. I'm not that satisfied with his clothes. I think his little bag is cute, but I should have thought a little bit more about the design. But yeah, I still like him, but I would tweak him a bit if I were to redo him. And now for Miss Nico Robin. So I completely changed her. I'm so sorry if you like her post-Timeskip design. I think it's cute, but I just don't think it matches her, you know? Like, I think the skirt is cute, but just not for her. So what I did is I kept her sunglasses, but I chopped her hair completely and kept the bangs she has pre-Timeskip. I also kept the shirt she has, but I changed the colors, so now it's like a black leather like she has in Anya's lobby, but a shirt instead of a dress. I also removed the flower she has on her top, because she already has them on her pants and I thought we didn't need two of the same pattern. And yeah, I changed her skirt to cowboy pants. And also gave her the Anya's Toby boots, even though you don't see her since they're under the pants, obviously. I kept a kind of reminder of the skirt as a cute little belt she has wrapped around her pants. And yeah, I kept the color scheme to, you know, suit her aesthetic more. I think it's cute that their color are more vibrant post-Timeskip to like fit with her being more open. But I don't know, you know, she's kind of the weird girl of the group. I don't think she has to have the same aesthetic as Nami. I think it's kind of sad. So yeah, completely changed her. I hope you still like her. I also gave her nail polish. So when she uses her power, the nail polish goes on every end, which I think would be a nice little touch. And for the bracelets, Robin was probably the hardest one to figure out, her and Usopp. Because, you know, obviously a big part of her backstory is that she didn't really have anyone. So for her bracelet, The red represents Soul, I believe, our giant friend. I'm so sorry, I forgot his name. That she had when she was a kid. My mom thought of this one. I thought it was kind of harsh, but maybe she would want to keep it as a reminder. Since she has a, a weird sense of humor. So the red is also for the flames, for O'Hara, and the grayish black is for the poneglyphs, and obviously also for herself. And she thinks the bracelet is adorable, and she was really touched by it. To have something that represents her bond with the Strawhats, I think it really means a lot to her. For Franky, I also basically completely changed him, like for Robin. I think his design has a good concept, like for the robot aesthetic, but it just feels too random, which I know is the point, he puts himself together with random parts. But as a character design, I don't know, I think it's kind of weird. So I kept the same aesthetic, but a bit more coherent, and also gave him a sort of biker aesthetic with it. So he has a new base haircut. I think he still changes haircut for every arc, but his base one is this, which was inspired by like biker hairstyle, especially Mondo from Danganronpa. I also gave him star sunglasses, which were inspired by Garnet from Steven Universe. And it's a small detail, but I gave him nuts and bolts earrings, which I thought were really cute. He also has a leather jacket now, with big shoulder pads instead of the round shoulder pads he has in his new design. I think it looks just a bit better, and it's also inspired by Metaton X from Undertale. It's just a mix of all the design stuff I like, I guess. I gave him fingerless gloves to keep with the biker aesthetic once more. At first I didn't know what to do for his legs. I think the metal plates they gave him was to dress him up more because his legs are completely bare. And I didn't want to keep them, but I also didn't want to put anything else on his legs since it would kind of be weird for him. So I gave him kind of metallic knee pads with star on them to fit with his usual motif. And also, the bracelet is on his ankle instead of his wrists. It wouldn't fit there. And also just to put a bit more stuff of interest down there. And for him, the bracelet represents Iceberg, Tom, Kokoro, and of course himself. And for the bracelet, I also think he completely loves it, and also compliments Usopp on his craftsmanship. I think he thinks that it's super, of course. Oh, and also forgot to add that I kept his big golden chain that he had pre-Timeskip. I don't know why they removed it, I just think it looks good and gives him a bit more of interest in his design. So now for Brook. So for him it was just smaller tweaks and especially a big color palette change. So mostly I removed his hat just like for Usopp. I think the new big hat he has kind of threw me off whenever I drew him. So I just removed it and gave him a smaller crown to clear his silhouette, and it matches more with his little top hat he had pre-Timeskip. I gave him some jewelry, especially rings on his fingers, and also flare pens and platform boots to go for the rockstar aesthetic. I think he looks really great in it. I wanted to keep his more old school classical style he has to him, so I just made his vest a bit longer in the back. I also think it looks good. But for the color palette, I made it a bit brighter to fit with his more, happy personality and, kind of goofy personality. So he mostly wears pink, yellow and blue now. I also think the brighter palette colors contrasts better with the usual black and white he has. And for his bracelet, it represents Laboon, of course, Yorkie, and Crocus. For Crocus I wasn't sure to include him, but I still think he plays an important part in Brook's backstory. Also the black for himself, of course. And when he received the bracelet, I'm sure he also cried a lot. It touched him a lot since, he was so lonely back then. So to have a real bond with the Strawhats, it means a lot to him. Also, obviously the biggest change I made is his guitar. I always thought it weird post Timeskip, just already that he has a guitar now instead of his violin all the time. But for his like kind of role shift I can get it. I just don't get why it's a green shark, like he has no association with sharks. So I just made his guitar into Laboon instead. I think it's cuter and like, why associate him with a shark when he already has Laboon? I just think it's so weird. Yeah, I don't think the guitar overall looks the best. I think a prop designer would have done a much better job. But I just think the idea is much cuter and suits him much better. So yeah, I hope you like the guitar too. But yeah, besides that, I'm pretty satisfied with this design. My main objective was to make the colors a bit more coherent, so I hope that comes across. But I just tried to make him a bit more fancy, I guess. Just give him some more accessories that I think would suit him. And I think it looks pretty cute. And now finishing off with Jinbei. So actually, I wasn't sure about including him at first. Not because I don't like him, I love Jinbei. But where I'm at right now in One Piece, he still isn't part of the Strawhats, which is why I wasn't sure whether to draw him or not. But I think it would be kind of weird to do a full video of the Strawhats without him. So yeah, he's here, but I just didn't really change his design. Just extended the white streak he has in his hair. And I think that's pretty much it for him. And of course I gave him a bracelet as well. So for him the colors are for Fisher Tiger, the Queen of Fishman Island, I totally forgot her name, I'm sorry, and also Koala. I wasn't sure for Koala, especially since I wasn't sure what color to give to represent her. But I think she plays an important part in the human and fishman relationship, like overall. So yeah, I think she was still important to keep in his design. And for what he thinks of the bracelet, I think it wears it proudly, and he was really honored to receive it because it now means he's fully included in the crew, which is really sweet. So yeah, with Jinbei done, this is all of the Straw Hats. I hope you like what I changed for them, or what I didn't change. And please tell me if there was anything else you would have loved to see change in their design. And also, overall, if you have any idea you would like to see me do in future videos, be it for One Piece stuff or just overall video ideas, I would love to know what you think. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!